Hello and welcome to News Central Now. I am Adebola Adedugba. The top stories are this hour. As independent marketers sign deal on fuel supply with Dangote, NNPC denies working against local refineries. Senator Okpewolo to be sworn in as Edo State 5th democratically elected governor today. Ex-President Saul leads opposition coalition amid controversy. And details shortly. Let's begin by telling you that the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has finalized a deal with Dangote Refinery to source petroleum products directly, aiming to offer Nigerians fuel at more affordable rate. IPMAN's national president, Abubakar Garima, announced the agreement on Monday at a press briefing in Abuja following discussions with the association's National Working Committee. Garima confirmed that the refinery will supply products like premium motor spirits PMS, automotive gas oil, AGO, and dual-purpose kerosene DPK directly to IPMAN depots and retail outlets, ensuring continuous and widespread availability across the country. Highlighting the benefits of the partnership, Garima encouraged IPMAN members to supply the refinery, noting the advantages of backward integration and its positive impact on Nigeria's foreign exchange. He expressed optimism that the collaboration with Dangote will result in reducing pricing for consumers. Earlier, Publicity Secretary for IPMAN, Ukadike Chinedu, joined us on the news to speak on this development.
I have stated it clearly in this studio that there will be serious decline in premium motor spirits in all our filling stations. Instead of people, market commuters, queuing like mosquito coil in NNPC filling station, independent marketers will provide the lower price. We are talking about pricing here. If they sell to us the way they sell to NNPC, like what we have achieved now in this Dangote deal, we are going to sell lower than NNPC. And I want to tell you that all this issue of queues and the epileptic distribution of petroleum products will be a of the task. The issue of 500 million liters in Dangote tank will be from onwards will be a thing of the past. And there will be serious competition. Both MOMA members, DAPMAN members, IPMAN members will be at the same line. The whistle will be blown, everybody will take off. And I want to tell you, we are healthy and hearty. I'm very, very strong to compete in this industry. We have all it takes. We have the money, we have the tank farm, we have the personalities, and we have the distribution channel. So from now onwards, once our papers have been put in place, because the meeting just held last week, and we are now trying to do the documentation. And the Dangote have found to us that even if we want to start moving today, there is going to be.
In the meantime, the Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria announced that the association sees no need to import fuel following the assurances of steady supply from Dangote Refinery. He stated that IPMAN will retain its import licenses, but they will only be utilized if there is any shortage in the refinery's supply.
We are very, very comfortable with this arrangement with Dangote. It is very, very insane for somebody to say he's going to import when you have a manufacturer in your house who is willing to give to you and even give to you on credit. So what are we going to import for? With this arrangement now, once NNPC has finished our documentation, we'll continue. Although we also have our import license and keep it in our pocket in case if there's any problem in terms of shortfall. But I believe the man has promised us that there will be no shortfall, that he will produce even more than the ones Nigeria will consume and have more to export. So we must support our own. It's an indigenous company. And we, the independent marketers, we're indigenous marketers. We're not member members who are representatives of the IOCs in this country. Some of them, not all.
Meanwhile, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has assured that NNPC Limited fully supports the prosperity of local refineries across Nigeria. And speaking at the 42nd Annual International Conference and Exhibition of Nigeria Association of Petroleum Explorationists in Lagos, themed Resolving the Nigeria Energy Trilemma, Energy Security, Sustainable Growth and Affordability, Kyari emphasized the company's commitment to Nigeria's energy future. Amid recent tensions between oil marketers and the Dangote refinery, Kyari clarified that NNPC Limited is not undermining domestic refinery efforts. Instead, as a stakeholder in the Dangote refinery, NNPC's investment aims to bolster Nigeria's energy security and ensure a steady domestic fuel supply. Kyari's remarks underscore NNPC's stance on fostering energy sustainability and affordability for the nation. The Nigerian Labour Congress says it is not going back on its decision to embark on a nationwide strike if all the state governors do not commence the implementation of the new minimum wage. The head of information and publicity of the Congress, Benson Opa, made this known to News Central in an exclusive interview. Opa said that some governors have refused to implement the wage increase, treating the issue with levity to the detriment of the workers.
It is important to note that the conditions of living of workers are degenerating by the hour. And what reason do these governors have for not doing anything up to now? If it is not contempt, power drunkenness, and arrogance. So I want to tell you, I want to reassure you here that if by the end of this month, which is 30th day of November 2024, the process is not perfected, on the 1st of December, there will be action in those states. Yeah, what I mean by process is the conversation. In fact, what I mean by perfection of the process is the holding of that conversation, the reaching of a consensus on the issues of what to pay, but take never below the federal threshold could be higher. Like we have seen the situation of Lagos paying higher, Akwa Ibom paying higher, KB paying higher, and others paying higher. So it's up to the states, or it is up to the affected states to do the needful. And they know what their responsibility is. We have heard some of them say, oh, we will look at this matter in January. This is not at their pleasure, okay? This is not at the pleasure of governors. Absolutely no.
In politics, Senator Monday Akbawolo of the All Progressive Congress APC candidates in the state's 2024 gubernatorial election is set to be sworn in today as the state's 5th democratically elected governor. This marks a shift in leadership for Edo State, previously governed by the opposition, People's Democratic Party, PDP, after Akbawolo defeated PDP candidate Asu Ighodalo in the election. As preparations for the inauguration are underway, the APC Transition Committee in Edo State has recommended an investigation into over 410 billion naira in local and foreign debt reportedly owed by the state. The committee submitted its findings to the governor-elect on Monday, calling for transparency and accountability in addressing the state's financial obligations. And our correspondent joins us, and that's Austin Azu from Benin City. Austin, good afternoon. Just give us a feel of how things are taking shape right there at the Samuel Ogbemedia Stadium, where we understand the swearing-in is taking place.
Good afternoon. The just came in not quite long, and the stadium is filled to burn. So in from that, they commence the ceremony properly. But however, we are still expecting other people who are coming from outside the state to join the ceremony. But meanwhile, we have some people here to how their expectation is going to look like. Okay, Ma, hello. Please, let's meet you your name and designation. What expectation from the incoming government?
We sincerely apologize for that glitch. We'll try to connect with Austin as soon as we can. The newly elected chairman of the PDP in Abia State, Amar Abraham, says the party will institute a shadow government in order to put the government in power in check. And speaking shortly after the inauguration of the new executive of the state by the Southeast legal advisor, Barrister Ukpabi Ukairo, the chairman unveiled some of their programs. Our correspondent Chiwe Ugile has details.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the People's Democratic Party.
These men and women emerged through a state congress of the People's Democratic Party that was held a week ago in Omaha. At the inauguration ceremony of the new executive that will pilot the affairs of the party for the next 4 years, the chairman, Amar Abraham, pledges to take the party to a new height.
In the next few days, we will unveil a brand new shadow government that will take over the responsibility of running the most proactive shadow government in any part or any region of Africa. We will have the equivalent of all the ministries.
Other officers of the party believe their party has all it takes to check the activities of the government in power in the state.
I think we are not just new when it comes to experience, but we are new in the management of the party, and we know that our work is cut out for us. What do? Keep the government in check, make sure the Otis government is kept to his promises.
I will go around the 17 local governments in Abia State to mobilize women right to the grassroots.
To go from house to house to plead to them, to ask them to forget the past and focus on the present. By doing that, I believe that we're going to talk to them, and I believe that they'll come back.
The chairman also dissolved the Elders Council of the party and announces Onyema Ugochukwu as the new chairman of the body. Part of the assignments that this new executive must accomplish in order to successfully drive their cause is to reach out to all aggrieved members of the party.
As we invite them back to join us, we will engage them constructively and make sure that they join us not to destroy this party, but to build this party, because many of them are already regretting. Many people who left this party or who worked against this party during the last elections are already regretting, because they cannot see anything better.
Being an opposition party should naturally create an alternative perspective to government's policy, giving the citizenry an opportunity to see things from yet another angle. In Omaha for News Central, I am Chiwe Ugile.
Time for a break. When we return, IGP Egbetokun cites arson, looting as crimes committed by individuals arrested during End Bad Governance protest. Details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. The National Orientation Agency has called for a nationwide sensitization on the national anthem and the 7 for 7 National Values Charter. The initiative represents a pivotal movement for all Nigerians, one that seeks to strengthen the bonds of our national identity, promoting the values that unite us as Nigerians. News Central's Chizobanyan will compile a report from the certain regions in Nigeria to ascertain the feeling of citizens on this call by the National Orientation Agency.
Plateau was one of the states in Nigeria where the National Orientation Agency had a sensitization program for citizens to improve their value system as Nigerians. It was at a press briefing that the director of the National Orientation Agency in Plateau State brought to the fore the need for citizens to be further sensitized on the national anthem and the National Value Charter. The director said there is a need for Nigerians to have a rethink by changing their perception about the value systems in the country.
The National Values Charter is not just a set of guidelines, it is a call to action for all Nigerians. It encourages us to reflect on our actions and consider how we can contribute positively to our communities.
For the Nigeria we crave for, citizens must be alive to this charter.
The nationwide sensitization on the national anthem and the National Values Charter is more than an initiative. By embracing these values, we not only honor our past, but also pave the way for a brighter future for Plateau State and for Nigeria as a whole.
However, some residents of Plateau who spoke to News Central believe that if the change the country deserves does not come from its leaders, then it may be a mission in futility.
You cannot tell people on a hungry stomach that things will get better with words. When they've not eaten, they cannot access education, there's no proper health care, there's nothing happening in the country.
Hunger is actually the order of the day. And how do they expect that you should be patriotic? You are requiring something from me, but you're not giving me. Then I wouldn't be.
We should adhere to those values that will bring us together. But again, our leaders must lead by example. By doing that, citizens of this country will key into it.
For their counterparts in Asaba, the Delta State capital, it is mixed reactions.
If they react positively to whatever we are saying and took the right step towards the right direction, nobody will complain. Nigeria is a blessed nation. We know that. But what we are seeing now, it looks as if we are caused. But they should try to turn our orientation, not only by speaking, but by putting it in action.
The NOA has not gone out of place. I think the youth should speak positive into Nigeria and believe that Nigeria can be better.
In Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, Abubakar Hassan is of the opinion that Nigerians have no alternative than to remain patriotic.
In order to show our love to this country, we have to be very patriotic. Anything that has to come with Nigerians, we have to protect our dignity, our integrity, and whatsoever it is that is important for us, for our development as a nation.
For them in the eastern part of the country, the harsh economy needs to be looked into for the desired change from citizens.
Parents can no longer afford the daily meal their children are supposed to eat. In fact, nothing is moving.
There are so many people benefiting from the government, and there are so many people that are still in hunger that have not benefited, you understand? So there's no how you can beat a child and tell the child not to cry.
Government should do the needful by meeting up to the cry of the poor. You understand? Not hearing it on paper or newspaper. We are doing this, we are doing that. They should do the needful.
As these Nigerians have spoken their minds concerning their level of patriotism and the value system obtainable in Nigeria, one would expect that the National Orientation Agency takes back this message to the appropriate quarters for the change that is desired in our nation. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyomi.
Dorothy Njemanze Foundation has called for the enforcement of anti-discriminatory laws and the implementation of Nigeria's gender policy, especially at the sub-national levels. The call was made in Abuja, the nation's capital, as the foundation unveiled its compendium of sector-specific demands and solutions that can help Nigeria achieve developmental aspirations. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudo, reports.
Another conversation on inclusivity in governance and leadership continues, and this time by the Dorothy Njemanze Foundation. The foundation is engaging duty bearers and industry leaders in Nigeria, calling them to action.
The compendium discusses the issues facing women, girls, persons with disabilities on a sector-by-sector basis and includes recommendations for policy direction and practical steps for redress.
The submission contained in this compendium being unveiled today comprises recommendations born out of a multi-stakeholder dialogue.
So the biggest issue is that Nigeria cannot maximize her potentials because Nigeria is focusing on forcing men to give capacity that men are not able to give men have the role that they can play. But if you don't carry the entire population along, if you don't carry women along as you are carrying men along, then you're outstretching men, and they will never give you what they need to give you. But when you carry the whole population along, then it means that you're spreading the weight evenly. Let's not keep it vague. We have come up with sector-specific solutions that we have preferred. So we hope that all the ministries, all the departments, all the agencies, the legislature, the judiciary, look into this and be guided by things that they can do. These are the low-hanging fruits. Let's pluck them together.
The foundation says that the purpose of compiling the compendium is to offer valuable insight into the myriad of issues affecting women, which deny them opportunities to participate in the development of society. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
At least 13 persons have been reported dead after a mining site collapse in Bassa local government area of Plateau State. Joshua Riti, chairman of the local government area, said the incident occurred on November 10th. He added that 7 of the deceased hail from Bassa local government area. The collapsed mining site is conterminous with Jos South and Jos North local government areas. Majority of the victims were said to be aged 18 to 30. Mining accidents are becoming a recurrent decimal in resource-rich Nigeria. In June, a mining site collapsed in Niger State following a downpour. Now, 7 persons were eventually rescued. In January, 2 people were killed and 77 injured in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, due to the activities of illegal miners. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has dismissed claims that minors were detained during the recent End Bad Governance protests. Egbetokun clarified that those arrested were individuals involved in arson, property destruction and looting rather than peaceful protesters or minors. And speaking at a workshop on professionalism in criminal investigation at the Police Resource Center in Abuja, Egbetokun thanked President Adebola for ordering release of any individuals wrongly detained. Additionally, the IGP addressed reports of police officers escorting 100 foreigners, including Chinese, Malaysian nationals, detained for alleged cybercrimes in Abuja. He confirmed these officers were not officially deployed for that duty and reiterated that no minors were held simply for protesting.
Opportunity to correct an impression. The impression that those minors were arrested for participating in the End Bad Governance protest. That is a wrong narrative. It is not true. The police did not arrest anybody who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. We arrested criminals who took advantage of the protest to cause destruction to public infrastructure, to destroy private businesses, to commit arson. Those one cannot be regarded as protesters. The police did not arrest any protester. Even television stations showed where police gave escorts to protesters. We protected the protesters, but we arrested the criminals. So it's a wrong narrative. It is mischievous for anybody to push that narrative out that those 76 suspects that were arraigned in court were suspects, were people who participated in the End Bad Governance protest. We have said times and times that to protest is a right of citizens. But the Constitution that gives you the right to protest also gives you the right to respect the rights of others. So we don't go against people who come out to protest. We even protect them. But those who come out to commit crime are the ones who have confrontation with us.
The Nigeria Police Force says that it is introducing a new policy framework that will require all officers involved in cases concerning minors to undergo specialized training. Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, made this known during a training workshop aimed at enhancing the professionalism of its criminal investigation and intelligence officers. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, throws more light.
This workshop focused on enhancing professionalism and standardization in criminal investigations within Nigerian police force, bringing together units head from the police investigating and intelligence department nationwide. According to Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, the training will help strengthen the integrity of the nation's criminal justice system.
Professionalism within our ranks is not merely an expectation, but a cornerstone of our operational effectiveness and public trust. It underpins the credibility of the criminal justice system, ensuring that investigations are carried out with utmost integrity, fairness, and adherence to the rule of law.
In response to public allegations regarding the detention of minors connected to the End Bad Governance protest, the Inspector General of Police announced that measures will be implemented to ensure that officers handling cases involving minors receive necessary training. He emphasized that this initiative reflects the police commitment to safeguarding children's rights.
Every interaction with our child, whether as a victim, witness, or even an offender, must be carried out with sensitivity and professionalism. To implement this, we are introducing a comprehensive child-friendly policing framework that mandates specialized training for officers who engage with minors.
However, speaking on the same issue, a public law expert from the University of Lagos and a resource person at the workshop expressed concerns over the lack of protective structures for children, despite the existence of the Child Rights Act for the past 2 decades. She also expressed concern over the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court in hearing cases involving children, calling for a review of existing legislation.
The Child Rights Act, which is the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, states very clearly that it is a court created under that act. That is the only court that can try children.
The police expressed confidence that the adoption of the child-friendly policing framework will help develop a positive relationship between law enforcement and community members. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says that it will commence the tracking of government expenditure and disbursement in an effort to combat the growing menace of financial crimes in the country. The chairman of the commission made this known to lawmakers following the visits by the members of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes to the commission's headquarters in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. News Central's Joshua Imarai has details in this report.
It was an oversight visit by Nigeria's Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes to the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja. The chairman of the EFCC, who welcomed the lawmakers, says that the commission is actively pursuing its mandate to fight corruption. He says that with the granting of access of the commission to the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, also known as IPPIS, the commission is now well positioned to monitor government disbursement in real time, ensuring transparency and proper utilization of public funds.
For you to recover every 10 naira stolen, you spend between 4 and 5 naira. But to prevent 10 naira from being stolen, you probably spend less than 1 naira. So, which is more, impactful way of fighting corruption. So, I believe in prevention, and that was what led to my establishing a new directorate upon my assumption of office called Fraud Risk Assessment and Control. So, we have a relationship with the Accountant General's office now. We have been given access to GIVMIS. We want to monitor releases live and where the money goes.
The chairman of the EFCC called for the lawmakers' support in fighting graft by appropriately funding its budget so that it can acquire a software that will help monitor and investigate virtual currency trading in the country.
There is a software I'm trying to procure just to investigate cryptocurrency and this the virtual currency trading and all of that, which is a major problem to us. The least we receive is 3.4 billion just for just one software. And I can tell you several billions of dollars we are losing through the this unlicensed cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria. Now we are meeting with SEC and CBN. We have come up with regulations. So we need to prepare for us to monitor their tax payment, the revenue that is supposed to come to government. If we do our work very well, we won't realize less than $5 billion every year.
At the end of the engagement, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes shared his views on the visit to the commission.
Like custom do, they are entitled to a percentage of whatever they get for the year. And if you do it to EFCC, they will be able to work very well. Out of 3,600 and something cases they have had, they have 2,600 and something convictions. They recovered over 200 billion naira, over 190 something thousand or $96,000. They have done a lot just within 1 year. I commend them. The committee is impressed with them.
The chairman of the EFCC also announced that the commission has launched a project to train 500 convicted internet fraudsters in cybersecurity as a means of rehabilitation, giving them an alternative to cybercrime. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Security experts are urging the Nigerian federal government to join forces with neighboring countries, including Benin, Chad and Niger, to dismantle the Lakurawa terrorist group threatening Nigeria's security. Retired Brigadier General Sani Usman, speaking to Leadership newspaper, emphasized the importance of a proactive, multi-dimensional approach to countering the new terror group in the northwest and avoiding past mistakes that allowed Boko Haram to gain ground in the northeast. General Usman also stressed the need for improved intelligence gathering and sharing among security agencies to quickly identify and intercept emerging threats. He called for heightened cooperation to prevent the Lakurawa sect from gaining strength and destabilizing the region. The defense headquarters last week alerted the nation on the presence of a new terror group in the northwest states of Kebbi and Sokoto. At the weekend, its fighters reportedly killed 15 persons in Kebbi, in addition to sacking police formations in areas it operates. Earlier, we were joined by Editor-in-Chief, Security Digest, Chidi Omeje, and he shared his expert insight on these security threats.
But another thing again is that we should not be seeing them as a new terror group. They are not actually a new terror group. They've been here for the past 6 years. They are just building their cells, and this. What we should be talking about is that they have there's a new momentum they have created, which is what our security agencies are now seen as having a new terror group. They have always been here. The issue is that they have more or less kickstarted their real intent as a terror group. So it's a big issue for Nigeria now, because we now have another entrance of formidable terror groups that have global network. So it calls for concern, really.
But let's also look at the measures. What measures can be taken now to strengthen joint border security operations?
Coming up, opposition leader Madeleine urges supporters to demonstrate across Mozambique. Details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. Senegal's former president Macky Sall is making a controversial return to politics as he leads an opposition coalition in Sunday's snap parliamentary election. Sall, who stepped down in April after 12 years in power, handed over to successor Bassirou Diomaye Faye before relocating to Morocco. Now, his re-entry into the political arena from abroad has sparked debate about his intentions and potential impact on the nation. A current Prime Minister, Ousmane Sonko, Sall's long-time political rival, has hinted that former officials, including Sall, could face legal scrutiny. Sonko alleges that Sall's regime left Senegal in dire financial strait and misrepresented figures to international partners, claims the former government has denied. This election could intensify political tensions in the West African nation as both sides vie for influence in Senegal's parliament. In Mozambique, opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has called for widespread protests this week, challenging the recent election result won by the ruling Frelimo party, which has held power since the country's independence in 1975. Mondlane, who received 20% of the October 9 vote, according to official count, alleges the election was rigged. He's urging supporters to demonstrate across the country, including the capital, Maputo, and the provincial capitals, border areas, and major port. Mondlane has also called on truck drivers to halt shipments from South Africa to Maputo port. President Felipe Onyusi, who is set to conclude his second term in January, is expected to transfer power to Frelimo's elected candidate, Daniel Chapo. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch reports that protests related to disputed election results have already led to 30 fatalities. Mauritius opposition leader Navin Ramgoolam has claimed that what he called a crushing election victory. The two-time former prime minister told an enthusiastic crowd that his alliance of change had made a clean sweep of parliamentary seats on the island in the election. Ramgoolam said he hopes for the resignation of the current prime minister, Pravin Junoth, as he was defeated 60-0, referring to the 60 National Assembly seats that were up for grabs. The island of Mauritius operates a winner-takes-all election model, which allows single coalitions to dominate the 70-seat parliament. Though election results are yet to be announced officially, Ramgoolam supporters have been celebrating an expected win as Prime Minister Pravin Junoth has conceded defeat. New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has formally apologized to victims of abuse in the country following an inquiry into one of the country's biggest abuse scandals. The historic apology was delivered in Parliament after findings from a report confirmed that over 200,000 children and vulnerable adults experienced abuse while under the care of state and faith-based institutions between 1950 and 2019. The inquiry, which took about 6 years to conclude and included interviews with more than 2,300 survivors of the abuse and care institutions, documented a wide range of abuses, including rape of children, forcefully giving up children for adoption, use of seizure-inducing electroconvulsive therapy, and forced labor. The government has promised to reform the care system. And the street officials report 10 dead after Kuki minority forces attacked a police station in Manipur. The violence allegedly broke out after the burn corpse of a Kuki woman was found in the district last week, causing outrage. According to Krishna Kumar, the deputy commissioner of the state Jiribam district, one officer was injured, while 10 bodies of attackers have so far been recovered. Kuldeep Singh, security advisor to the Manipur government, reported what he called a heavy firefight that lasted around 45 minutes, adding that assault rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, among other weapons, were recovered from the dead attackers. Long-standing tensions between the Meitei Kuki communities revolved around competition for land and public jobs. In business, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has reported that unsold manufactured goods have soared to an unprecedented 1.25 trillion naira, marking a 357.57% increase in the first half of 2024. Now, the surge is largely attributed to declining consumer purchasing power due to rising inflation, subsidy removal, and naira devaluation. MAN President Francis Meshoye noted that this alarming trend reflects significant challenges for consumers and emphasizes the urgent need for demand-stimulating interventions. Additionally, employment within the manufacturing sector dropped sharply, with only 2,606 jobs created, a 37.83% decline year-on-year. The report also highlighted a 200% increase in electricity tariffs and rise in operational costs, further stressing the need for comprehensive economic reforms to stabilize the sector and improve the business environment. Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, announced that Nigerians earning minimum wage or slightly above will be exempt from the pay-as-you-earn tax under new tax reforms. Now, the statement shared on Oyedele's X account follows President Bola Tinubu's submission of 4 tax reform bills to the National Assembly on September 3rd, 2024. The proposed bill include the Nigeria Tax Bill 2024, establishing a fiscal framework for taxation, and a tax administration bill to clarify tax laws and reduce disputes. Additionally, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill aims to replace the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill seeks to create a tax tribunal and tax ombudsman. However, the reform bills have sparked debate within the National Assembly. Oil prices dipped on Tuesday as investors' disappointment in China's recent stimulus plan and concerns over oversupply impacted the market, compounded by a stronger dollar. By 0:50 GMT, Brent crude futures fell 17 cents to $71.66 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was down 20 cents at $67.84 per barrel. Now, both contracts had seen declines of over 5% in the previous 2 trading sessions, while China's recent 10 trillion yuan debt package aimed at alleviating local government financing strains was deemed insufficient to stimulate growth. Analysts noted weak consumer inflation and falling factory gate prices in China, raising demand concerns. The market is now anticipating oil market reports from OPEC and the International Energy Agency, which could further influence prices. In the world of sport, 8 players have withdrawn from the Black Stars squad to face Angola and Niger in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. According to reports in Accra, some of the players include Inaki Williams, who is reported to have picked up a hamstring injury, as well as Tariq Lamptey, who is also experiencing calf discomfort and is undergoing rehabilitation. Others include Antoine Semenyo, who is nursing a tendon injury due to an overload of games at Bournemouth. Pakistan's defender Alexander Jiku has aggravated an existing hamstring injury, and Ibrahim Usman is said to have picked up a hamstring injury as well. Jeremy Poku and Jonas Ajete are reported to be recovering from injuries they sustained, while Joseph Pencil withdrawing from the squad due to personal reasons. In this case, the head coach Otto Addo will invite other players to replace those who have withdrawn from the squad. Now, this comes as a big blow for the Black Stars as they aim to win against Niger and Angola and hope Sudan lose their remaining matches to secure qualification. Ghana will play Angola on November 15th, 2024 and return to host Niger at the Accra Sports Stadium on 18th November 2024. And that's all on this. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. As independent marketers sign deal on fuel supply with Dangote, NNPC denies working against local refineries. Senator Adebola to be sworn in as Edo State 5th democratically elected governor today. Ex-president Saul leads opposition coalition amid controversy. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. And now let's connect with the ongoing swearing-in ceremony of Monday Adebola in Edo State. My name is Adebola Adedugba.